Hi everybody. I thought I'd like hop on today to talk about making the right decisions, and not rushing into getting something, buying something, doing something that you'll later think, bad move, bad move. So yesterday I went to a local car boot sale. It was actually raising money for our rugby club, our local rugby club. So it was not very well. There wasn't many store holders there. I'll be perfectly honest, it wasn't much of a footfall, but it was quite enjoyable. And I went along with my friend and we had a good chat and everything. And I bought a few things. I bought a badminton racket, old school style, one I was used to having years ago, but it was practically brand new. The woman had hardly used it. I bought a little vacuum cleaner, push along toy vacuum cleaner, and a teddy for my granddaughter, and I bought a book. So I didn't spend an awful lot. I spent about £4. Everything's about a pound or 50p. And I took all of my coins with me. I collect, like probably most of you, collect my coins in a little jar. And when I've got odds and ends, I just chuck them in. And it's amazing how they mount up. Must be, I don't know, 20, 30 quid in there already because lots of pound coins. But I took a handful of coins and I thought, I'm not going to spend a load of money on basically bring rubbish home with me because it's not, that was what I wanted. What I was looking for was some Kilner jars or some big jars. And I'm not actually looking at this jam jar, and that's kind of thing that I need. So I probably got quite a few of these in the house already. Again, another thing, we could reuse jars rather than buying something, but I needed something to put my beans in. I'm growing Belotti beans and some white beans. So the Belotti beans have started to seed now, and they dry, and then you just take the seeds out and you use the bean, and you can cook it, or you can freeze it. If it's still soft, you can freeze them, but I like them to be dried so I can use them through the winter. I can store them and I can use them for casseroles, things like that. So one of the things I was after is an air fryer and an instant pot. So those are two things that I was kind of been looking at, and I've had my eye on them for, I would say, a year. Now that sounds a long time, but I kind of want to do my research. Is this the thing that I really need? Do I really need an instant pot? Do I need an air fryer? So anyway, at this car boot, going back to the car boot, at the car boot there was a air fryer, and it wasn't new. It had been used. The lady was moving out of her house and moving in with a boyfriend, and they'd got like two of everything. So it was a genuine sale. She just wanted to get rid of it, and she wanted a tenner for it. And I was umming and ahhing, and no, and I offered a little bit less, and she said no, which I didn't expect her to have the deal. So I kind of went back, and then I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and get the air fryer. I got back; it had already been sold, so you know, point taken. I should have acted a little bit more. I shouldn't have been, or should I have? I don't know. It was lessons here. So I went home and I thought to myself, do I need an air fryer anyway? And they're quite big, these things are. They're bigger than a toaster size, but they're quite tall. They're chunky. And I have quite a big kitchen, but I haven't got that amount of space to store excess appliances on my worktop. I've got a juicer, I've got a blender, I've got a small cold coffee maker, and a few jars and things like that. So try and keep it kind of clutter free. I don't like lots of things on the shelves and things. So I was like, do I need this air fryer? Probably not. Probably not. What are you going to make in it? I'm going to make some sweet potato fries, make some chips maybe, cook something quick. It might be something out of the freezer, a pie, or something that's quick and easy. Yeah. How often do I eat those things? Not that often. I don't eat chips very often, and I do like sweet potato fries, but they're probably a once a month thing. So to get an air fryer just for a few little bits like that, would it be useful? So kind of put that on the back burner. And then I started to do some research, went onto Google, and I found a Ninja 15 in 1 air fryer and instant pot together, like a pressure cooker and an air fryer together. And it had quite good reviews. It was £250. So I said no to this air fryer that was a tenner. But now I'm thinking I'm going to spend £250 on a double appliance, which seemed quite practical at the time, very practical person. And I've been mulling over this for about a year. And this product has now been launched. So I was like, I looked at the size of it. It is massive. It's 35 centimeters square and high. So it's about that high, about that wide, and about that depth. So it would sit on my worktop, and it would take up an awful lot of space. So I looked at, okay, so this is going to cost me 250 quid now, and yeah, I can afford that. Um, but what I'm going to use it for? What are the things I need for the pressure cooker is to cook beans. Yeah, so to cook those dried beans and cook them in the instant pot. The other thing was to because the function, you could make bread with it, you could cook cakes in it, and you could prove in it, you could prove bread. Now I'm a big baker and I love baking. I did a baking course before Christmas last year with Leiths, which my daughter got me the gift of the course, which was a 10-week bread making course, a professional bread making course. I learned a lot and the bread was amazing. But after 10 weeks of eating so much bread, there was Chelsea buns, there was all sorts of gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. I was kind of a little bit breaded out, really, if that's the word. It was really not, something I wanted to leave for a while. So I've not made bread for ages. And with the price of fuel and the price of electricity and gas, I've been a bit reluctant to make one sourdough, a loaf of bread. It takes about 40 minutes to cook it. That's quite a lot of energy, a lot of electricity. And I tend to put other things in. I'll make a cake and I'll bake something else, put some roasted vegetables in. So I'll make use of that time. But the actual bread goes in a pot and a Dutch oven. It's actually a big cast iron container and it makes the bread amazing, right? So that takes up a big space. So I can't often get anything else in the oven to cook it with. So I'm waffling a little bit here, but what I'm saying is it was going to cost me a lot of money to make a loaf of bread. And I can go down to my local supermarket, I can buy a loaf of sourdough, I cut it in slices and I can freeze it. And it costs me a couple of quid. All right. So that would have been one of the uses I made for the bread, to cook, bake, to make the beans. What else am I going to use the pressure cooker for? Maybe something like a casserole or stew or curry or something like that, or some soup. Okay, so while I was at the car boot sale, I was talking to my friend, and she said, do you need the air fryer? Do you need the air fryer? Do you need this? And I thought, you know what? I've got a slow cooker. I've actually got two slow cookers, and they're quite big. And I bought them for Christmas because when we have Christmas dinner, because we use in the oven quite a lot, I will use the two slow cookers and I will make a batch of soup, and I put the soup in one and it keeps it warm. And then I put the gravy in the other, or the vegetables and potatoes and the gravy in the other crock pots. There's two slow cookers and they're quite big and they're very useful, and I'd never get rid of them. I've had them a long, long time and they're a little bit worse for wear now, but they're useful. So not long ago, I bought a slow cooker book from the charity shop. And in that slow cooker book, there's lots and lots of recipes. And as I was flicking through the pages last night, I noticed that you can make ginger cake, you can make lemon cake. And it started to get me thinking. I was like, okay, what else can I do in this slow cooker? I can cook beans, apparently. I can cook very slowly, and they'll probably take 10 hours, but it's the price of a light bulb for an hour. It's not expensive. It's not like putting your gas hob on for 2 hours and it steams up the place. The whole place gets steamed up. So it's inside and it keeps it slow, cooks it slowly. So the pulses were one thing I wanted to make. And the other thing was the bread. You can actually prove bread in a slow cooker. I read up on that this morning. You put a little bit of water at the bottom and you put the bread in a container, and it kind of keeps it warm, and it will actually help to prove it. So it brings it, to double in size. And there was a recipe to make a sourdough in the slow cooker. So I'm not buying the Instant Pot and air fry together. I'm saving myself 250 quid because I didn't rush in to go and buy something. I thought about it. I've been thinking about it for a year. But looking at that air fryer, which I thought was annoying because I didn't get it for a tenner, It would have been useful. I could have made chips and things like that with it. I'm sure another one will come along, probably a freebie on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. I don't need the air fryer right now. I needed something to make my pulses and the bread. So I come up with a solution. And that was because I didn't rush into buying it. I could have been £250 worth out of my purse today because I was going to go down to Leicester and I was going to order one from John Lewis. I was going to go to John Lewis and see the size of it. And then I saw online, I was like, that's massive. It's like a great big, I've got a dehydrator and I can't put that on the counter because it takes up so much space. And it was as big as that and it weighs 15 kilos. So to keep moving it backwards and forwards, it's not going to happen. So I saved myself 250 quid. I've saved the trip into Leicester and I've saved my money for something else. So when you think about wanting to buy something, think about it, weigh it all up, do your research. Actually ask, what do you need it for? What do I need this for? Is it going to benefit me if I get this extra appliance? Probably not. So that's my thought for you today. I hope that helped. Don't rush into buying things. Think about it first, especially at the moment because we are in this fuel crisis. We are in trying to save my money. So I've saved myself 250 quid. I've already got the slow cooker. That's it. Okay, have a great Sunday. Take care, everybody. Bye.